Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2020 with Newcastle United. It is Season 7, Season 5 of Newcastle. We obviously spent 2 seasons with Everton. We don't talk about that anymore, that's irrelevant. This season, we are finally going on a European adventure after finishing, I think it was 6th place last season, thanks to some weird luck, basically, in the final episode where everything seemed to go our way, which meant we jumped from 8th or 9th to 6th place, qualified for Europe. So it means this year we have to fight in the Europa League. Obviously, being the first episode of a new season, that's what it's called, we've got some transfers to go through. I have spent about £75 million on new players. One of them is pretty expensive, one of them is pretty special, but we've probably got 4 first-team players that have come in. Also, we're looking at the facilities here because in case you missed the last episode or the end of the last episode, we are looking to build a new stadium. There is planning going on. So they're looking to build a 67,000 capacity stadium, which is flipping huge. Absolutely massive. So we will see what comes of that. Right, let's have a look then at the transfer business that has gone on in the summer. Obviously, we will begin with the players leaving the club. Quick list of players there who've left on free transfers who I don't think there's anyone massive there. Alex Gibson, possibly the only name you might recognise, but unlikely. The first of 5 players to leave on permanent deals then is at Faisal Boujamail. Played no games for us, didn't play a single time for us. We signed him for very little money from Genk, went on loan to various clubs in Morocco, signing for Charleroi for about £375,000. We made some profit on him. Another player who didn't play a huge amount for us, but when he did, he wasn't actually terrible, is Antonio Gonzalez. The 21-year-old Spanish striker has signed for Köln in Germany. We've got about £9 million for him. Probably should have kept him. Didn't realise how young he was until I kind of looked after I clicked the accept offer button. We've got no sell-ons in this. Probably should have tried to get a sell-on because I think he's going to go for a fair amount of money in a few years' time. Speaking of players who went for a fair amount of money in a few years' time, Abdulkadir Omar has signed for Barcelona. We didn't get any of this money, but he's gone for nearly, £52 million he's gone for. We sold him for 25. Probably should have kept him. Anyway, next up is a player who was ours, who has left the club, Arvin Appiah, who basically we tried to sell last year, couldn't get rid of him. He signed for Burnley for £9.25 million. He did a job for us, scoring 5 goals in 12 starts for us, which is actually quite good, but I think we don't need him anymore. We've got enough players who are English, so we don't need to worry too much about that homegrown status. So thanks for your time, Arvin. Enjoy Burnley. Another player who I was desperate to try and sell last season and couldn't manage to do it is Oliver Batista-Meyer. He has left the club, signing for West Ham in London for £10.75 million. That's a lot of money, considering what we paid for him, which is £475,000, and considering he hasn't really been that good. He was okay. He didn't do anything special for us, so to get £10.75 million, I'm happy with that. And the big one then, Jean-Pierre, the 27-year-old Brazilian, with no Brazil caps, by the way, has signed for Leicester for 25 million, I think it is up front, 25.5, potentially rising to 31.5 million pounds. This I 100% think is a risk, but there is some thought, some method in my madness here. We are going to change things up. We're keeping the same formation, but we're going to change things up. My attacking midfielder might be a certain Marlon Charles for this season. I've been retraining him, and I think Marlon, it is time for you to step forward and become a world-class footballer, because right now, as a left-back, I think you're kind of being held back a little bit. We've also gone and reinvested some of this money, and by some, all of this money. Like I said at the start, we spent £75 million on players, £50 million of them on one player. We brought in, I think, 7 in total. There's 9 in total, 2 of them are fairly useless. First up, Joseph Wensley, signed from Manchester City, youngster, gonna sit in our under-23s. He might get good, probably won't. And Harvey Kalinas, or Kalinins, sure, this guy from Arsenal. Again, he'll sit in our youth teams. Signed him on a free, didn't cost any money. First up then, joining the club from Juventus, it is Brazilian left-back Helinho, which is a wonderful name, absolutely brilliant name. Problem is, he's broken his ankle. So, yeah, he was my Marlon Charles replacement. He's gone and broken his ankle, so he's obviously not going to be playing for a couple of months. He's still going to be that Marlon Charles replacement. I still don't think I'm going to be playing Marlon Charles as that wing-back. He might start the season as the wing-back. Helinho will obviously overtake him once he's fit. He's come in for £10.25 million, which I think that's all it is. Yes, it is. I think that's a good bit of business. He seems like physically, mentally pretty good. Technically needs a little bit of work, but I think he's good. He's only 21, got plenty of time to grow. 3.5-star current ability, 5-star potential as well. I think we've got a good one. He's also 6'3". Next up is a Paraguayan wonder kid signed from Cerro Porteño, I don't know, in Paraguay, 20 years old, 3 caps for Paraguay. It is Fernando Zelaya. He is a wonder kid, 3-star current ability, 4.5-star potential, sorry. He's good. He is a no-nonsense centre-back, which obviously isn't great. He also can't header, which is a worry, but we're going to obviously train him up. 20 years old, he's got plenty of time in front of him. He will probably play a reasonable amount of football for us this season. We've also done a lot of loan business, getting rid of some of the more fringe players to try and get them some football, like Marcus Stock and things like that have gone out on loan. So Zelaya might actually be playing some football. A transfer that I confirmed a long time ago, but because he was on loan at Bologna, I couldn't actually complete the deal. It is Franco Di Matteo, 21-year-old Italian striker from Inter Milan, 3.5-star current ability, 5-star potential. He is technically spectacular. Mentally, he is exceptionally good as well. To be honest, I don't think there's much bad about his game. So we've now got 2 world-class, in my opinion, attacking midfielders, advanced forwards in Franco Di Matteo and Nicky Monasterio. Our strike force is looking strong. And it gets stronger. You'll have to wait till the end for the final one. Next up is 18-year-old Argentine central defender Lucas Schmidt. He has signed from San Lorenzo. Probably not going to get a huge amount of football, but I think technically he's actually quite good. Problem he does have, he's 5'10", which isn't small by any means, but it's also not big, and his jumping reach is only 6. So in the air, he's not great. Maybe we look at retraining him up as something else. He has come in for £3.2 million, and that is it. It's a risk. It's not really a risk, is it? He's not exactly... It's £3.2 million in this market. That's nothing. Another youngster to join the club is 18-year-old Uruguayan striker Eduardo Romero, signing from Penarol. Now, the reason why I've signed this young lad, for 2 reasons, actually. He is a natural deep-lying forward, which is useful because we do play a deep-lying forward. And mentally, he is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. For some of the things that I want, determination of 20, off the ball of 16, teamwork of 16. Those are some really important stats, in my opinion, or attributes, sorry, in my opinion. Physically as well, pretty good. Doesn't have any strength, not a problem. Finishing, 9. He needs work, but he's only 18. So he's also only getting paid £3,000 a week, so he's not getting paid enough money to get a full work permit. So he can't play for the first team. Anyway, maybe might loan him out, not quite sure. Now there seems to be a theme with me and signing central midfielders for a lot of money. We've signed, in the past, Jamie Shackleton for 45 million. We signed Joe Willock for 32 million, I think it was. We signed Matteo Guendouzi in January for 50 million pounds. And now we have signed 28-year-old English central midfielder from Manchester United, formerly of Bournemouth. Here's all the clues. It is Lewis Cook for 50 million pounds. It's a lot of money, but he's English. He's English. He's an elite midfielder. He's probably our best midfielder. He's come in as a vice-captain as well, so he's going to make a difference to the team, I'm hoping. He's got 5 caps as well for England. He's good, I think. Don't hate me for this one. I need to get English players, and I just need to get a settled midfield, and I'm hoping, with the players that we've got now, with Cook, Guendouzi, Chaule, and Shackleton, we've got 4 very good central midfielders that can all rotate. They can all play in basically all the positions if we need them to, so I hope we're okay. I'm probably going to spend £50 million in January on another central midfielder. And finally, the big one. And by big one, I mean if this happened in real life, Newcastle fans would probably lose their poop. Although, we are, 7 years into the future. So maybe not as much. But, signing from Borussia Dortmund, formerly of Bayern Munich, formerly of Lech Poznan, given some clues, formerly of Znik Pruszkow, sure, those guys, 132 caps for Poland, 73 goals. It is 36-year-old Polish striker Robert Lewandowski. He has joined the club and he is filth, absolutely filth right now. Yes, physically he's awful, but it doesn't matter. I don't want him to run. All I want him to do is score 63 goals a season. 18 finishing, 19 first touch. Mentally, look at all of those numbers. Pretty much, 2/3 of them are green. His worst mental stats a leadership and positioning of 12. I've got players who actually have probably been the captain with worse leadership than that. Now, there are a couple of things with this Robert Lewandowski deal. You're probably spotted he's on £200,000 a week, which is a lot of money. I fully agree with this. He's also got a 2-year deal. So, he's also about to turn 37. Yeah, he's possibly going to be here until he's nearly 39 years of age. Don't think he's just... Oh, he's staff. He's staff. He's awful. He's an awful director of football. Can you be a coach? Not really. I mean, manager? I don't know, to be honest. Anyway, yeah, Robert's here. He's only cost, actually, £2.9 million. I thought that's a bargain. Yes, he's not been massively prolific the last few seasons, and I'm not expecting him to be the first name on the team sheet. I'm thinking possibly an impact sub, something like that. If we need to basically just have... If we're playing against a really good side, maybe a Lewandowski up top, he might just do something special out of absolutely nowhere. But I'm excited about this Lewandowski deal. Can you tell? I'm really excited. He's going to be awful, isn't it? I can already see it now. He's going to play 12 games all season, score 1 goal, and it'll be a penalty. So that is the transfer business that we've done. £75 million we have spent, if we saw it by price order. The Lewandowski deal is the 4th cheapest, and 2 of them were free transfers. As always, we've also loaned out a whole load of players. Some of the big names. Romain Martin has gone out on loan to Borussia Dortmund, which is quite good for him. Marcus Stock, as I mentioned, he has gone to Rapid Vienna. What else have we done? A load of players obviously going to Coventry. Gaston Yacaruso, one of them. That's going to be a useful loan for him because he's going to get some football. Same with Marlon Vasquez. Mateo Lopez-Bays as well, actually, is another one. Going on loan to Sion, basically, because we signed in Franco Di Matteo. Mateo Lopez-Bays isn't going to get any games. So he's gone off to Switzerland, I think they're Swiss, to hopefully get a season under his belt, score a load of goals in Europe. Right, so that is that business done. We're also going to have a match in this episode, so this is going to be a special bump-along episode. Before we jump into the match against Swansea, just going to quickly show you something here. If we just go transfers, the board aren't happy with the Lewandowski deal. He's getting paid a lot of money, and I'm fully aware of this. They've given it an F. The fans, C+. They're actually quite happy with it. I think, in terms of transfers that I have done, I don't think I've done too bad. Maybe I've spent a little bit too much money on Lewis Cook. Obviously, the Lewandowski deal was a big risk, purely down to his wages. And finally, we'll have a little quick look at the season preview then. They are expecting mid-table. I'll take mid-table, to be honest. I don't think that is out of the question. We've got no players in the Media Dream 11. If we have a look here, our 2 best players is going to be Adnan and Marlon Charles. Fair enough. The new attacker midfielder, Marlon Charles. And the projected lineup is... It's funny to me because they've stuck Lewandowski as an attacker midfielder. Hold on. Can he play... Oh my word. This could be something that we never even considered. Do we play Lewandowski just behind the strikers? Marlon Charles might be a left-back for another season. Here we go then, first game of the season. Swansea are our opponents. What did they do last season? They have just gone up. Okay, they finished 2nd place in the Championship, getting themselves promoted this season. So, this should be 3 points, right? This should be a victory for us. The starting lineup then we're going to go for. In goal will be Adnan. The back 3 will consist of Johan Mylard, Johnny Panzo and Big Dids. The back 3 I'm not settled on at the moment. We've obviously got some players like John Suter here who's not particularly match fit. There's a lot of players who basically had small injuries during pre-season, which means there's a lot of little issues that I kind of need to try and work through for the first games of the season just to get people's fitness up. So the back 3 is likely to change fairly frequently for the first few games of the season. So yes, it's going to be Mylard, Panzo and Big Dids. Johnny Santos will be the right-sided wing-back. Carlos Restrepo will be the left-sided wing-back because Helinho is obviously injured. And Marlon Charles, will get to him in a minute. The midfield will be Matteo Guendouzi and new signing Lewis Cook. Marlon Charles will be in his new position as that attacking midfielder, with Lewandowski and Nicky Monasterio as the front 2. I'm hoping we can see a Robert Lewandowski masterclass. I want a goal and an assist. I want Marlon Charles to score a goal as well. I'm going for 3-0 in this. I'm going for 3-0. Why do I always seem to pick teams who've got confusing names? What is that? Victor Gyökeres? Maybe? I don't know. So, Swansea, as I've mentioned, have just been promoted. So, I'm assuming team spirit is going to be high. Just going to get Nascimento to do that. He did a great job. Probably shouldn't have done that. Early highlight for Swansea. Carvalho's free kick. Mason Holgate is there. His header is just over the bar. First blood almost goes to Swansea. Lewis Cook steps up with a corner for us. Johan Mylard is there. Big Dids is there at the back post. We're 1-0 up. Big Dids with the goal. Mylard with the assist. Of all people, was not expecting that to happen. We're 1-0 up, 13 and a half minutes on the clock. We, with this, go top of the table because nobody else is winning at the moment. I know it's obviously first game of the season, but still, I'm taking it. Half an hour played. There's not a huge amount going on. We've got a highlight with Swansea's throw. Cook doesn't get the ball. Loftus-Cheek kicks it straight into Cook, though. Fila crosses in. Gyökeres doesn't get there now. Matteo Guendouzi just smashes it upfield. Finds Nicky Monasterio. Go on, Robert. Go on, Lewandowski. Get in the box, buddy. He's so slow. It's a penalty. Lewandowski is surely going to be stepping up to take it. It is going to be a penalty. Come on. Yes, it is. Here we go then. Robert Lewandowski steps up to take his penalty in the Premier League. He has done it. His first goal of the season. First of 23. That's how much I'm expecting Lewandowski to get. It's a lot. It's a lot of goals. But so far, that goal has cost us about £3.5 million. I'm happy. We're 2-0 up. And at half-time, it does stay 2-0. And I think we're looking good value for our lead at the moment. We probably need to do something. I'm just going to do it assertively. I'm not very happy. I'm just happy. I don't want... Fine, I'm very happy. I didn't want to say very happy, but sure. What I'm thinking, because Marlon Childs is a bit knackered, we're going to be bringing him off. We are... Seriously, why did I not do the subs bench? We're doing it. Oh, we're doing it. I don't know why I'm doing it, but we're doing it anyway. That's what we're going to go with. Lewandowski just going to play as an attacking midfielder now. As an enganche. Is that a thing to do? Prime creator, maybe. Give it a go. Well, Marlon Charles' first outing as an attacking midfielder. 6.7, not the best, not the worst. It's okay. The only way is up, though. Not a lot going on in this second half, is there? We are going to give them a get creative. We've got a free kick. Lewandowski steps up to take it. Back post is Johnny Panzo, and the central defender's header is just wide of the post. I did say 3-0, didn't I? If we can get another goal, we will be on target for my 3-0 victory. Final 10 minutes. We've got a highlight. We are going to do a change. I'm not sure what the change is going to be. Defensively, we are playing really well. Although, is that because of the goals? I don't know. What we are going to do. What are we going to do? I don't know. Christ Chule is going to come on for Lewis Cook. Do we do another sub as well? Let's do Santos off for Joe Willock. And then hope nothing comes of this throw for Swansea. Fila takes a throw to Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Crosses in. Back post is Gyökeres. His header is just over the bar. We've got 9 minutes to play. The substitutions will happen now. And we're not going to get any highlights at all from this, are we? So, we're going to beat Swansea 2-0. It's a decent result at home. Big Dids and a Lewandowski penalty putting us top of the table because nobody else seemed to win any games in the first week. Let's just end the season there, shall we? Let's just end the season there. Champions, we are going to be top of the table after the first week. I mean, I know, I'm fully aware that the majority of the teams haven't actually played yet, but I don't care. We're top of the table. That is going to do it then for this episode. Next episode, I don't know where we're going to go. It might be a mystery opponent in the Europa League. Can we find out when the Europa League actually gets drawn? I don't know when it gets drawn. It literally doesn't tell me anywhere. When does it get drawn? I want to know. Well, we're just going to have to wait. So, next episode then will be mystery opponent in the Europa League. Our first European expedition with Newcastle in this Football Manager save. Hopefully it's going to be a fun one. Hopefully it's going to be a good one. The board do want us to get through to the knockout round, so we're going to have to put in some performances in the group stages. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Football Manager 2020 with Newcastle United. If you did enjoy, do remember to leave a like. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Do tell me who you think the best signing was. Personally, it's quite obviously Robert Lewandowski, isn't it? And I will see you in the next episode for some Europa League action.